Ladies and gentlemen, we have already overshot the time limit, so I will not take long. I'll try to be as brief as I can. But a little bit of summing up is required, at least a few sentences where each is concerned. Where the first topic was concerned, rehabilitation of child soldiers in post-conflict situation in Sri Lanka. We had the Director General and the Commissioner of Rehabilitation, Major General byMajGenNARanasinghe himself saying, telling us, enlightening us of what we have been able to achieve. So I don't think there is any doubt. We have been able to do a wonderful job, like it was brought out, thanks to the officers involved. Then the next topic was GIS modeling with rapidly changing data sets, the application of Model Builder to assess public accessibility in the city of Colombo. We are expanding a lot, 42 square kilometers at the moment, and a population, resident population of 710,000, but a migrant population of almost 2 million that comes in and goes out of the city on a daily basis. So you will find that most of the roads leading out, certainly past where I live at Borella, the roads going out towards Rajagiri on the eastern side is always clogged up. It's very difficult during the rush hours. So these geographic information systems can certainly help in identifying bottlenecks and all these things, which will contribute to a proper town planning. And I'm sure the ministry is making use of all the knowledge, because the UDA is now coming under the Ministry of Defence. We covered through parameters the waterways, entry-exit points, population density, road network, and all that. Okay. Third was stress fractures amongst officer cadets here at KDU. It may be similar to other training establishments as well, SLMA, Naval and Maritime Academy, as well as Air Force Academy. Is due to repeated trauma and commonly occurs in more sedentary people than rural folks. The time I went for training, we had 25 and 25 of us, long time back. Nobody ended up with a stress fracture, in spite of having to run during each time you stepped out of a building and went to another. So every time you came out of your billet and you had to go to a classroom, between classrooms to gymnasium, and that was for 5 months. So I think maybe sedentary lifestyles, it was brought out that rural people who came from rural areas did not suffer these fractures. They walk long distances or they run, and are more outdoor people than those who come from urban areas. Probably we got to watch their BMI, body mass index, as well when you enlist. But I think it might be a good thing to, at the first interviews or activities, if they are qualified in all other aspects and deserve to be considered for enlistment into the Sir John Kotlawal Defence University, that they be given some sort of guideline to improve their physical fitness before they come here. Otherwise, the trauma can be as a result of being unprepared, thinking that like any other university, you just go and do your academic work and then finish off. So that might be a good thing. And mainly the tibia and the fibula, which are affected, they are the two bones between your knee joint and the ankle. So all the stress fractures happens there. The fourth of the topics that were covered was by Mrs. Serath on the importance of the Central Highlands in organizing Kandyan Wars in the Kandyan Kingdom. a map showing the extent of the Kandyan kingdom was shown, which of course depicted certain areas as far as Mana and maybe even up to Vaunia, close to the east coast, west coast. So Nuwara which includes Anuradhapura, Meenthala area, came under the Kandyan kingdom. Lots of people are under the impression that the Kandyan kingdom was only the central highlands, which you will see once you start going towards Kandy from maybe beyond Varakapula. But it is not so. It was about 10 to 15 on average miles away from the coastline onwards was all under the Kandyan kingdom. On the east coast also it was the same. Eravur, for example, the legendary tusker that carried the casket, Raja was captured in Eravur much before he got independence. Right. Of course, they made use of the central highlands, the mountainous areas, and they had a very good early warning system through which they were able to beat off all these invaders who came. And there were quite a lot of them, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the British on the first occasion. On the second occasion, second expedition of the British was the time that the king fled and was captured and handed over to the British. The Kandyan kingdom seceded to the British Empire on the 3rd of March, 1815, when the Kandyan Convention was signed by the Kandyan chiefs. A map of Kandy was also shown. Unfortunately, they didn't have much time to explain because of probably time constraints. You'll find that the river, the longest river in Sri Lanka, for those who are, of course, foreigners here, the Mahaveli encompasses Kandy on 3 sides. Once it comes down from Gampula, Peradeniya. Now if you are going on the Colombo-Kandy highway, you will meet the Mahaveli at Peradeniya. And then it does a circular, complete 180-degree turn around the botanical gardens at Peradeniya, then goes downstream towards Levella and Pallakali area. The rest of the quarter is covered by a mountain range. You will find, you will see at Hantana, the Hantana peak and the range there. So that really the city of Kandy has had its natural defenses as God would have made it. That's why it's referred to as the city where the river, lake and mountain meet. Okay. It's also the, I must say in passing, where Lord Mountbatten decided to establish his headquarters in the gardens of Peradeniya during the Second World War. The Southeast Asia Command, which controlled the Burma campaign after the fall of Singapore, the Japanese had come down, was all done from the Peradeniya Gardens during that time. The officers' mess was the present Swiss Hotel around the lake. It would have been good if a little bit of Danture and Randenivala was also covered. These were also 2 campaigns where the Portuguese came up and were wiped off completely. At Danture by King Vimaladharma Surya, and I can't remember who the monarch was, but Randenivala near Vellavai. Danture is near Mavanalla on the western slopes of the Central Highlands, and Randenivala expedition commenced from Batiklu. The last topic was the concept of medical rapid deployment force, certainly something that was developed in the United States, and we benefited by it. Director, Army Medical Services, Brigadier Kamal Sumanapale is here, and he answered the question. There's a lot of training that has gone into the medical RDFs within the Army. We have the personnel, we have the training, we have the knowledge and the equipment. It's just that they cannot be everywhere all the time. And that's why probably 90% of the casualties in war die on the battlefield, that it was brought out. We have not had that high rate, I'm sure. But nevertheless, the research paper was done with the best of intention of further developing the MDRF systems here. Now that we are not fighting a war as such, it's always good to have personnel ready than to wait for an incident to occur and then to see how it can be put together, as was brought out in the case of former Minister Mahinda Wijesekara's case. Recently, one of the Major Generals from Bangladesh came around. He was my sponsor student 5 years ago when I was doing the National Defense course, and I invited him home for tea. And I was a little surprised to find an ambulance going behind the official delegation. So that is part of what I realized was that we have now moved on, and the ambulance and the wherewithal that is required in case of emergency is part and parcel for any BIP convoy. So I think it will remain so and be improved in future. So with that, we have come to the end of the technical session 2 on defense. We'll now break off for refreshments, and Lieutenant Commander Kure will inform what time we should reassemble here. Thank you very much for your attendance and for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Deputy Vice Chancellor of the Kotalawala Defence University, Brigadier Lal Gunasekara, to present a memento to the chairperson. Vice Chancellor of the KDU, Major Milinda Pires, to present a memento to the chairperson. I didn't see you, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Major General NARanasinghe to present certificates to the presenters. First, Miss UAT Udayangani. Lieutenant Colonel S.D. Udesena. Colonel Sujeeva Amarasena. Miss Echimai Herat. Dr. A. Munasinghe. Thank you, sir. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank Major General NARanasinghe for chairing the defense session 2. That concludes the defense session